Uma, your mic is still mute.
Yes, my chat box is not working. So I want to find out, there is something called an unlimited company. I think in one of those slides, we can please bring that slide up. I was wondering why people would want that. What's the advantage of that?
So that is, I think that was
Shanti.
brought out by Shanti Sagarajasingam. Shanti, are you there, please?
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
Professor Shanti.
An unlimited company that has all the privileges similar to another company except for the limited liability.
Yes, so why would want? Yeah.
That is up to the shareholders.
Okay.
When they incorporate a company, that's an alternate available for them to choose.
Right,
So
but anyone would want to be limited. Listen, anyone would generally would prefer a limited. They don't want to expose their liability.
No, very rarely you find unlimited companies as well. That is up to the shareholders.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Shanti.
Next is Jiva Perumal Pillai from Essex.
Yeah, hi. My name is Jiva Perumal Pillai, Essex. I just wanted to mention the Doing Business report that the World Bank produces every year. And it's quite a useful report to see where Sri Lanka is vis-a-vis many of the developing and emerging countries. Sri Lanka actually ranks at the moment last year as 99 out of 190 countries. And they rank 138 when it comes to registering property. And they rank 132 in getting credit and paying taxes. They rank 142, and enforcing contracts, which is the topic of today's conversation, they rank 164 out of 190. And this reflects, I think, why Sri Lanka, why we are suffering today from lack of foreign direct investments, lack of local investments, and henceforth. So I think that is one of the major issues. Land laws have been mentioned, the labor laws have been mentioned, and I think the other big issue and sort of the elephant in the room is the institutional aspects. There are environmental and social safeguards, which is carried out by a number of other organizations. There is no cohesion amongst the different institutions that have actually got to provide all the necessary clearances for any company to actually establish themselves. So not very easy, and I think that this is one of the reasons the country is suffering from foreign exchange and the lack of investments. Thank you.
Thank you, Jiva. They were great thoughts. I think this is the way to go, like small group discussions and, keep the dialogue going on. And I think it's a great start we are having here. Thanks again, Jiva. Next, we have Yogesh. He has a question here. What is the process, difficulties on leasing lands for businesses by foreign individuals or small businesses? Can we ask again Professor Rajasingam, Sega Rajasingam, to answer this, please? What is the process of difficulties in leasing lands? Or Dr. Thavalingam can answer this, please.
Difficulties, when you say difficult, first you should study the procedure. So you go through this, what is called Land Commissioner General's website. They are given a lot of procedure to get the land. So if you follow that procedure, then you can get the land. But there are some I don't know what to say, what is it? Getting land in northern provinces is little bit difficult. I don't know the reason.
That is Tesa Valamai. You should marry somebody from, get a dowry from Jaffna. Then it's easy. That's what I understood. Ms. Kosalai Madan, are you there? Can you explain that? Why is it difficult to get land in Jaffna or northern province?
Unlike in other parts of Sri Lanka,
The lands in Jaffna or northern part are mostly privately owned. So in Jaffna, most of the lands are privately owned. There are only few state lands. In Vaunia and other places, there are state lands and people have grants and permits. But in Jaffna, people have private lands and they have sentiment over their private lands and they are not ready to sell or lease it out. That's the problem.
Great answer. I
Yeah,
have
I
another
think
question from, yeah, sorry,
So
go ahead.
it's the case that outside Jaffna, so you're right that in Jaffna, most of the land is privately owned, but outside Jaffna, if you visit the BOI, they are begging people to lease land from the government. Government, so they'll tell you, will give you 30-year leases, and the way they price it is they take the current value, market value of the land, and they charge you, I think, 3% a year for that land. So if you go to the BOI and you're looking outside Jaffna, then they say, when I visited the BOI a couple of years ago, and I said, where is the land? Mr. I've forgotten his name, but he said everywhere. There's land everywhere. But I'd like to make another observation. Now, Mr. Pushparaja Deshan, he said that the main reason people haven't invested in the north is poor returns. And he's absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct. Nobody makes money investing in Jaffna. But there are sectors which have a huge opportunity, and two of them I would say are value-added agriculture and tourism. But what foreigners who are thinking of investing into the north, I think often don't understand is how small these businesses are. First thing is that many of them are very informally constituted. So they may be sole proprietorships or partnerships which don't have audited accounts and all that kind of thing. So when an investor comes in and says, oh, I want to see 3 years of audited accounts, a lot of these businesses don't have it. And the sort of things these businesses are looking for are often very basic. For instance, working capital. So businesses are going bust at the moment, not because they don't have machinery and factories. They're not looking for people to invest in their machinery. They're looking for people to give them working capital. There are companies who have machinery that can process 1,000 kilograms of cashew, but they only have a month, but they only have enough working capital to buy 100 kilograms of cashew. So an investment of as little as £10,000 or 15,000, few million rupees makes the difference between life and death for some of these companies. So when a foreign is looking to invest, and foreigners often look to invest for charitable reasons, and some of them are looking to invest to make a profit or to make a difference. They have lots of different reasons for doing that. When they go in and assess the investment, they need to look at it from a Jaffna perspective and not from a Toronto perspective or a London perspective. They need to understand how small these companies are and how little money they actually need. So that's basically my statement, but just a quick one. Someone said the guy from London, they couldn't hear it. I'm not in London, I'm in Jaffna. So just to point that out. Anyway, thank you, that was me.
Thank you, Jehan. You sound like a Britisher, so that's what the confusion is. Now, I have another question here and a comment. The comment is, Vani lands are mostly state, can be leased. Jaffna district 99% are private. Now, the question is, can a foreigner obtain loan for business or buying or repair properties in Jaffna? I think, again, Professor Shanti Sagarajasingham could answer this, please. Professor Sagarajasingham, are you there?
Foreign individual, that is up to the bank. This is coming under the contract, no, up to the bank. Without a security, the bank will not give a loan to a foreigner who is an individual.
Unfortunately, we don't have a bank in our midst here.
Can I answer? I am Thawalingam. Can I answer too?
Please,
Yeah,
yes, please, yes.
Yes. what is foreigner can buy a land not only for 30 years, even 99 years lease they can buy a land in Sri Lanka. There are certain laws amended in 2018 to bring foreigners to invest in Sri Lanka. So that is they have to foreigner or 50% of the project should be foreign funded. There are some rules. They can get a lease for 99 years even, not 30 years, 99 years.
Mr. Thavalingam, I have a question here. I heard, this is a hearsay, so correct me. Say if a foreigner wants to buy a land or a house, you have to pay 100% tax to the government. Is that true?
No, it is stopped now. It is stopped. It is
So-
stopped now. Last 2 years. From 2016, it is stopped.
So has it to be like a foreigner of Sri Lankan origin, or is any foreigner can buy property in Sri Lanka without paying that 100% tax?
Yes, it should be on 99 years lease.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about 99-year lease.
Yes.
I'm talking about owning a property.
Owning a property, that is really, I am talking about state lands. I don't know these private property laws.
Yeah, so I heard that if you want to buy a private property, for foreigners, you have to pay 100. Say if I buy it for 200,000, I have to pay 200,000 to the government as tax.
Perhaps I can add
Yes.
one or two of the
Yes,
other
you can answer. Yes.
one or two of the other questions on loans as well. The foreigners are now not allowed to buy any freehold property, period. That was under the Land Alienation Act that was passed a few years ago. You are allowed to buy apartment property and own it freehold, but you are not allowed to buy freehold land as well. So the best available option is a 99-year lease or a 30-year lease.
So
there are some workarounds that lawyers have advised foreigners on. I'm not going to get into those, but generally speaking, the rule of thumb is foreigners cannot own land in Sri Lanka, freehold land.
So what
they
people
can
do is they buy.
actually, so they can buy like a condominium. That is, they can buy it.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Over
What
the fourth
happens?
floor,
Say
over the
a
fourth floor.
sorry.
Over
So-
the fourth floor. Yeah.
Over the fourth floor.
Over the fourth floor, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Now, what happens? Say I come and lease a land for 99 years. My business is not doing well. I cannot sell that. Or I mean, how do I terminate that?
Lease is an agreement, you have to terminate it. That's not selling, no. When you
All
lease
right.
out a land, according to the terms of agreement, you can terminate.
Okay. Hope, I don't know, I mean, Sri Lanka, because India is different. India gives something called Overseas Citizens of India card where you can own properties. And Canada is like you can be a permanent resident here. You don't need to be a citizen. You can still own a property. Unfortunately, I think Sri Lanka has either you become a dual citizen or you're a foreigner. There is nothing in between. So maybe, you know what, either the government thinks to change the law or the people who are abroad, the diaspora think of becoming a dual citizen. So yes, Mr. Professor Sonaraja, you have to unmute yourself.
I'm only guessing this, but you know, as Deshan said, a foreigner cannot buy land. That's pretty clear. And we saw in the case of the Hambantota port and the Colombo port city, the Chinese were given 99-year leases simply because of the fact that the ownership of land in Sri Lanka was not possible. But there is an outside chance that a company that's incorporated in Sri Lanka, I suggested this earlier, as a joint venture company. That is a foreign company from Norway, shall we say, and a company from Sri Lanka a company incorporated in Sri Lanka, form a joint venture in a third company that becomes a corporate national of Sri Lanka, in which 51% of the shares are held. That is, the majority shares are held by nationals of Sri Lanka or by the other Sri Lankan company. There is a chance for the argument that this company can buy land, you know. But even otherwise, the ideal proposition would be that the Sri Lankan company with which the joint venture is made already owns land, you know, in which case, of course, the joint venture company can use that land. So there are ways in which you can surmount this problem if it were to arise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor
So
Solaraja.
one point I'd make,
We have
which
2
is important
minutes
for
to conclude it.
Okay, which is important for diaspora, is that you can inherit land. So even if you're not a Sri Lankan at all, if you're the child of a Sri Lankan, or actually if you're a child of anyone who owns land,